everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm having great difficulty recording. This is like the sixth time that I've tried to start this video, but I'm gonna try to get it out. I want to tell you a story about something happened to me several years ago, like back in 2006, 2007. But first, I need to give you a little background about my health because it kind of goes along with this. I have what is known as CIS, which means compromised immune system. And I was diagnosed with compromised immune system after I had my radiation treatments, which I had my radiation treatments after I had my surgery from my cancer. And I did do a video on this. It's called Why I'm Just Now Living in the Moment, in case if you want to go watch that video. Compromised immune system means that your ability to fight off infection has been lowered to the degree where it doesn't take a whole lot for you to get sick like it does. Regular people can be out and about and touch things and do things that don't make them sick. But with me, in my case, it doesn't take much for me to be sick. And when the COVID came around, that threatened it even more. I do wear gloves and masks still yet when I go out and sanitize, but at that point when it was really just taken off, I basically just went to work and came home because I was just so petrified that I was going to get out and get around somebody that wasn't protecting themselves and not protecting me. So anyway, I had the compromised immune system. And at this particular time in my life, I was living in a little trailer, a little 2-bedroom, single-wide trailer, down in an area of the city that I live in, which is called the Cotton Belt. It's across the railroad tracks and down on the other end of town. It was parked on a lot by itself. There was a big pecan tree out there with several other trees. And we had a storm that just went through the night before. And I was out picking up limbs and sticks and stuff in the back part of the back part of the yard because I was going to be building a chicken coop out there. Now, I already had a little shed that was sitting out there, and I was going to attach the fencing to the shed, from the shed to the back end of my trailer, to make the gate area. And then there was going to be a small little fencing area around on the other side. So I was actually out there cleaning up that area. Now, there was a wire that came from the top of my house and went to, I don't remember, it was on a pole. There was a pole there because there was a tree there and a pole. The wire was attached to the pole, and it went back to the back of the shed that was back there. There was another pole back there that was attached to that. Now, I don't know if it was a telephone wire, an electrical wire, a cable TV wire, or just what kind of a wire it was. It could have just been a wire that was just up there dead and didn't really have anything attached to it. But regardless of that, it was running from the top of my trailer back to behind the shed. And so while I was picking up the sticks, I happened to look up and I noticed there was a bunch of vines and stuff wrapped around that. So I wanted to clear that whole area out. And and it was up above my head to where I couldn't really reach it real good. So I had to kind of jump up and get it. And when I jump up and get it and grab a hold of it and pull down on it. Well, it was wrapped really tight around that wire. And so I was kind of like jerking it like this, trying to break it loose from that wire and get it down off the ground, clear it out of there. I don't know why the wire was so much of a problem, because it was up high enough where it wasn't going to bother the chicken coop or anything. But anyhow, I basically grabbed a hold of the wire and jerked on the vines until I got all the vines off of there, and then raked everything up and cleared it up. Well, then I finished all that yard cleaning up and went back into the house. And I was working at this time full-time in a factory in another town. And I went ahead and continued going to work. But within 24 to 48 hours, I began to break out in a rash. Y'all know where this is heading, don't you? And it got really intensely itchy and painful. So I ended up going to the doctor, which they found out that I had been exposed to poison ivy. And me having CIS, it didn't take a whole lot of poison ivy for me to get extremely sick. Now, I didn't start off at the beginning getting extremely sick, but as it broke out on my body, I guess the more it went into my system, the more it weakened my ability to actually function. Um, and the doctor told me that when you touch the spores from the poison ivy, as they land on your body, that's the way they break out. Like if you get touched here, here, and here, and here, it's going to break out first here, then there, then there. And he told me that a lot of people think that because they're scratching a spot and scratching another spot, that's causing it to spread, but that's really not what it is. The spores are breaking out in the order that your body was exposed to them. So because I had my hand up on that poison ivy and was shaking it down, it was going down my arm and across the side of my face and down my chest, so that I actually broke out from the arm first. When it first broke out of my arm, I wasn't very sick. Then as it progressed across my chest and up my face, I began to get extremely weak and sick to my stomach. I had no energy. I actually ended up missing about 2 months of work. When I went to the doctor, they first diagnosed it as poison ivy and just gave me like some cream or something to go home with and apply. And it didn't get any better. In fact, it just continued to be breaking out across my body because I had actually shook the whole thing, like just raining them leaves all down on top of me. So I ended up going back to the doctor again. And this time they gave me shots for it. They gave me pills to take, and they gave me another type of a prescription cream that I had to use to apply on it. And the pills that I had to take, you start off taking like a whole bunch of them, like 5 of them for 2 or 3 days, and then you wing it down to 3 pills, and you take them for a certain amount of days. So you get down to where you're just taking 1 pill a day for a length of time. I can't remember now what the name of the pills were. I think they were prednisone pills. I'm not really sure. They didn't seem to help a lot because I was extremely sick. At this time, I know that it happened during the month of May because it was on my birthday that I started breaking out. And the reason I remember, I have these pictures that I'm going to show you. When I went to work in the early stages, when I wasn't really, really sick from it, the girls at work had bought me birthday presents. And as I was opening them, they snapped pictures of them. Now I'm going to show you now in these pictures, and if you look, you'll be able to see the poison ivy that had broken out across my chin and down underneath. It was on the side of my face here and across my chin, because I guess I was looking up at the branch like this when I was shaking it on this arm, and so it got down on this face. I'm going to hold the pictures up now and show you, and you'll be able to. On this first one here, if you'll look on the side of my face, underneath my neck, you'll be able to see where it's broke out there from the poison ivy. And I'm opening up a t-shirt that my friend got me that's got a kitty cat on it. I'm going to try to get these pictures up in there close enough where you can see. They're not very clear, are they? But you can see a tiny little bit of redness where it broke out. This one right here may be a little bit better. You can see it on my chin and underneath my neck. This person that had gave me a gift of money. I think they had given me $5. These aren't showing up as good as I was hoping that they would, for you to actually see the poison ivy on my face. I don't know. I don't think I can get them up there any different way for you to see. This one don't have a lot of breakout on it. I don't know if you can see anything on that where it's broke out on my face. Just a little bit on the corner there. And this one, you can see it if you look right across my chin area here. You can see where it's broke out just a tiny little bit right there. It turned red. And I don't even know if you can see anything at all on this one. Anyway, I thought maybe those pictures would show you a little bit about how bad it was. It got to the point where I was so extremely weak from it that I could basically just lay in bed and get up and go to the bathroom and then lay back down. It zapped my energy completely. And like I said, I ended up missing probably over a month of work being on medical leave until the poison ivy got out of my body, because it started breaking out, like I said, on my hand. Then as it was breaking, this part would start to heal, but it would break out again in a different area. It actually broke out down this whole side, because that was the arm that I had up in it. Down, I guess it had gotten, the spores had got into my clothes and got down. It was across my belly. It sprinkled down into my t-shirt and got down in my belly. I mean, I don't know what else the doctors could have done for me except for what they did do, which was give me the shot and the cream and the pills to take. I did eventually get over it. And what I'm saying is, you think that I would have learned my lesson about what not to touch, but to this day, I still do not know really what poison ivy and poison oak and poison sumac look like. Now, I know there's a little poem about if it's got 3 leaves, you're supposed to leave it alone. And, you know, that the leaves are kind of jaggedy looking and a little bit shiny. I've got pictures that I went on the internet and downloaded and made snapshots so I could kind of study them so that I know, because I can't be around poison ivy at all. They even say that if there's poison ivy in the air, like if somebody's burning trash and there's a poison ivy vine in it and the ashes float in the air and get on you, that you can break out. That would be me, because being as symptomatic to being allergic to it as I am, it wouldn't take a whole lot for me. When I'm outside in grass, or if I see any kind of viney looking things growing, I try to stay away from that area, because being older now, probably it wouldn't take a whole lot maybe for me to get in a really bad case of poison ivy and maybe do me in. Who knows? You just never know what's going to be the end of your life. And so anyhow, I just thought I would share that story with you. I don't know how interesting it is, but I do know that I don't like poison ivy and I don't want to get it on my body. I'm going to try real hard to stay away from it. I do like working in the yard. I enjoy mowing the grass and planting flowers and gardening and stuff, but I try to stick to areas where I know there's no kind of a growth in there of anything that's going to harm me. If there's vines growing up the side of a tree, I leave them alone. I have went around after that happened. I went and bought some of that poison ivy and weed killer and sprayed it all around my yard back out in that area and got rid of a lot of it, because it's extremely difficult to kill poison ivy. You can't pull it up and burn it. You know, I don't really even know any other way except maybe like stuff it in a trash bag and tie a knot in the trash bag and throw it in the garbage to get rid of it. That's all I know. Thank you guys for coming and listening to the story today. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this. And y'all come back and see me anytime. Bye for now.